Around the globe, there are hundreds of incredible public sculptures, but only a selected few can be called amazing.
Ha! Amazing!
Number 10. Expansion. This piece of art is a contemporary craftsmanship blended media form, bronze and electricity, by Paige Bradley. The expansion mold is believed to be the first bronze figure to be enlightened from the inside. It is a portrayal of a nude woman in a reflective state, with light radiating from cracks in the body. Bradley began with a wax sculpture of a woman who appears to be meditating in the lotus position. She then dropped the sculpture on the floor, allowing it to break into pieces. Bradley cast the pieces of the wax sculpture in bronze, and assembled the pieces so that they floated apart from one another, and then she had a lighting specialist construct a system which lights the statue from within. The work was first displayed in New York in 2004. Number 9. Colossus, Florence, Italy. The Colossus is about 11 meters tall, and is meant as a personification of the Apennine Mountains. It was the water source for the Pratolino, its fountains and secret water plays. The Colossus has the appearance of an elderly man crouched at the shore of a lake, and is depicted in a realistic, suggestive pose. Within the giant exist a series of chambers and caves, on 3 levels. In the ground floor of the Colossus, exists a cave containing an octagonal fountain dedicated to the Greek goddess, Thetis. In other chambers, mining scenes, based on the book De Re Metallica by the mineralogist Georgius Agricola were to be seen. In the giant's upper floor, is a chamber big enough for a small orchestra, and in the head a small chamber holds a fireplace, out of which the smoke would escape through his nostrils. Number 8. Breakthrough from your mold. This fantastically evocative sculpture by Zenas Fridakis, also simply known as Freedom, is a statement about the struggle for achievement of freedom through the creative process. It depicts a human figure, evolving and emerging from cocoon-like beginnings in a wall, until 3 iterations later, it runs free, arms aloft across the pavement. Although there are 4 figures represented, the work is really one figure moving from left to right, beginning with a kind of mummy/death-like captive figure, locked into its background. In the second frame, the figure, reminiscent of Michelangelo's rebellious slave, begins to stir and struggle to escape. The figure in the third frame has torn himself from the wall that held him captive, and is stepping out. In the fourth frame, the figure is entirely free, completely away from the wall. Number 7. Mihai Eminescu. Mihai Eminescu's sculpture is based in Anesti, in Bacău County, in Romania. The sculpture was made by Remia Grigorescu. The artist doesn't amaze people by its technique, but by his ability of creating such an amazing show. Number 6. Diminish and Ascend. Diminish and Ascend is a welded aluminum stairway sculpture, by David McCracken. It is permanently installed in the Christchurch Botanic Gardens in New Zealand. The sculpture is an optical illusion. The dimensions of the structure are 12 meters height and 1.45 meters width. The illusion is achieved due to wider steps at the bottom of the sculpture which gradually decrease in size, with each step until they come to a vanishing point at the top. Number 5. Epic God of War statue in China. The Guan Yu statue is a large monument to Chinese deified military general Guan Yu, located in Jingzhou, China. The statue was designed by Han Mei-lin, and finished construction in 2016. It stands at 58 meters tall, weighs 1,197 tons, and is made of around 4,000 bronze strips. Guan Yu is depicted wearing his traditional robes and cloak, whilst wielding his famous ganao known as the Green Dragon Crescent Blade, which weighs 123 tons. Number 4. Les Voyageurs. The Travelers, also known as Les Voyageurs, are bronze surrealist sculptures by the French artist Bruno Catalano. The central part of each statue is missing. The artist has said that the statues are meant to represent emigrants. Catalano created a whole series of these sculptures, which look like human working people. They are collectively called Les Voyageurs. The sculptures are examples of surrealist art. They portray human beings with large parts of their bodies missing. Each statue carries a single case. The case represents a weight on the traveler, and also connects the upper and lower parts of the sculpture. The missing space is left for the viewer to interpret. Number 3. Ocean Atlas. Ocean Atlas is the largest single sculpture ever to be deployed underwater. It reaches 5 meters up from the sea floor to the surface, and weighs over 60 tons. Due to the sheer scale of the sculpture, it had to be assembled underwater in sections using an ambitious new technique, developed and engineered by Jason DeKyrish Taylor. The artwork depicts a local Bahamian girl, carrying the weight of the ocean above her in reference to the ancient Greek myth of Atlas, the titan who held up the heavens. Number 2. The Knotted Gun. Nonviolence, also known as the Knotted Gun, is a bronze sculpture by Swedish artist Carl Fredrik Reuterswärd, of an oversized Colt Python .357 Magnum revolver, with its muzzle tied in a knot. Carl Friedrich Reuterswärd made this sculpture after the murder of John Lennon, with whom Carl was acquainted. When learning of the murder, he stayed up all night to work on the piece, inspired by the idea of making a knot on the gun the murderer Mark David Chapman had used. Number 1. Salmon Sculpture. Transcendence in Portland, Oregon, is a statue of a fish breaking through the wall of a building while around the corner you can see his tail jutting out, one of the most photographed sites in all of Portland. It is quite the remarkable statue. Thank you for watching. If you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment and subscribe to make the algorithm god happy.